Nothing But the Truth. Hello, I'm Raj Chengappa of India Today and your host for Nothing But the Truth. This is my weekly X-ray of key issues that concern you without holding back on the truth. Over the past 5 decades, India has paid a heavy price for left-wing extremism on Naxalism. Over 2,300 security personnel have lost their lives in Naxal encounters. This is more than 4 times the numbers killed in the Kargil war. Civilian casualties are over 6,000 now. At its peak, the Naxal influence stretched across 10 states. It impacted over 80 million people in these 10 states and ran from Nepal's Pashupati, if you look at the outer edge, to Andhra's Tirupati and even beyond down south. It is seen as the biggest internal security challenge that India faces. But now that Red Corridor, as it is called, has shrunk to a narrow blob because of major policy initiatives by the Modi government in the past decade. The result is that the heat is focused on a few districts, primarily in the massive Basta region of Chhattisgarh. Recently, to understand the situation, I spent several days in the Basta region, which is the heart of Naxal country, along with my colleagues Rahul Narona and Aaj Tak TV camera person Raghvendra Pandey. I interviewed a range of policymakers, key central and state police services and officials to understand the problem. I also interviewed Union Home Minister Amit Shah, who is the force behind the Modi government's anti-Naxal drive. So in this episode of Nothing But the Truth, we will analyze the Modi government's determined and ambitious bid to eliminate the problem of Naxalism by March 31st, 2026, which is exactly a year from now. First, let's venture into the heart of the conflict zone and travel through the jungles of Bastar, where a quiet revolution in counterinsurgency is taking place. From the BSF chopper circling above Bastar, the river Indravati looks like a blue ribbon wrapped around the green forests. But that serenity is deceptive. Beneath those dense canopies, India's armed police forces are fighting a grim and shadowy war. From the air, it's hard to see the new government's iron fist and velvet glove strategy. Camp Puvarti looks like a 2-acre farm in the thick of a Bastar jungle, marked by a straggle of asbestos-roofed sheds and even stray chicken. But once you land in Camp Puvarti, which is on the edge of Sukma district, again in Chhattisgarh, this forward base or camp resembles a fortress with watchtowers manned by high-powered sniper riflemen and equipped with grenade launchers. This is the Central Reserve Police Force, or CRPF base, and it is home to the 150th Battalion, called the Jungle Heroes, very aptly. It now stands where once the infamous Naxal commander, Madhvi Hidma, ruled, and Hidma's name was tied to some of the deadliest attacks, including the 2010 Tad Metla ambush that killed 76 CRPF Jawans. Today, Puvarti has been reclaimed by the CRPF. 4 attacks by the Naxals in the past year has been repelled by the forces, and now they dominate the surrounding jungle. Puvarti camp, in many senses, represents a change in strategy. To understand that change, I spoke to Rakesh Agarwal, the CRPF Inspector General of Police, who oversees the Basta region. Listen to what he told me.
I'm with Rakesh Agarwal, who's the IG, Inspector General of Police for CRPF, handling this entire area, Naxal-infested area, right across Bastar. They have 165 camps here, and we're sitting in one of them, which is a camp called Purvati, which is at the heart of Sukma, and it is also, ironically, where one of the top leaders, the guerrilla leaders of the Naxals belong, Hidma Mandvi. He happens to have moved up the ladder from here, and we are actually sitting in the hotbed of Naxal areas and have Rakesh Agarwal talk about it. Rakesh ji, what is the significance, what is the change you have noticed in the way we've been tackling Naxalites because this region has been a hotbed for so long. How has the Basta region changed, and what are the new threats, or are we able to eliminate the threats that are here?
Bastar region comprises of main districts belonging to the Naxal problem. One is the Bijapur, then is the Sukma, Dantewada, Narayanpur, and Bastar itself. So the main problem earlier was that we were operating in the region, and then we were coming back to our camps, which were far off from the Naxal areas. So now after 2019, the strategy has changed. Now we are opening the camps right in the Naxal areas, and then we are staying there. So now one such camp is the Poverty, which is the main hub of the Naxal activities. And last year this camp was opened, and then after that slowly we have been able to win over the villagers of the our camp. And the main Naxal formation from this area, they have either been arrested or been killed, or they have run away from this area. So slowly the normalcy is returning to this area, and we are quite hopeful that with this strategy of opening FOBs slowly into the core areas, we will be able to capture the entire region and then bringing the people to the main fold.
No, one of the interesting things of the FOB, which is your forward operating base, was earlier I would gather there was a lot of vacuum in terms of the way the police force or the Central Armed Reserve Forces operated in. And in that vacuum where the Naxalites flourished in it. So how did the FOBs or the forward operating bases change the strategy? In what way, as you said earlier, you had to come long distances to come to these places or score it. How did it begin to change, and how many such FOBs have you established across this region?
In this Bastar region, we have established, CRPF has established 165 FOVs, and each FOV is given area of operation in which it is the concerned company is responsible for the security and the peace in the area. So generally 5 kilometers radius area is given to one company, and we have an FOV after every 5 to 6 kilometers. So that way the entire area is secured, and within that area of the companies, then the civil administration comes and then establish their own departments like the PDS shop, Aadhaar camps, banks, ATMs, Anganwadis, schools, hospitals, and various other government schemes. So the camp becomes the hub of the civil administration's activity, and the people started getting the benefit of the government schemes. So earlier the people used to resist the establishment of FOB. They used to think that FOB will come, then the security forces will come, and then the Naxal will oppose the security forces, and there will be a fight. So now slowly we have been able to establish so many of FOBs that now every villagers wants the FOB to come near to them so that the government scheme can reach to them, and in this way there is a very positive change among the villagers. So they wanted to now to be associated with the security forces and their camps, so that they get the benefit of the government schemes, they get the benefit of the pension schemes, the other subsidies the government is offering to them.
So could you call it guns and roses, because guns are the ones that you'll use against the Naxals to ensure that they cease to be a threat. Roses are the ones that you win the hearts of the people.
Yes, definitely that can be said about it, that it is a both way. Like those who don't want development, we have the force for them, and then those who want development, we have the civil departments offering them the benefits of the development.
Today, 182 such bases like Poverty have been set up in Basra alone. 30 of such camps were built just in the past year. Now, before they join these forward camps, the Central Armed Police Forces personnel are trained by Cobra, the elite jungle warfare commandos, in 3 major disciplines: stealth, survival, and resilience. I interviewed Amit Shah, commandant of the 201 Cobra Battalion, and this is what he told me.
I'm at Karanpur at the Cobra training camp, jungle warfare camp in the heart of Bastar. And I'm chatting with Amit Chaudhary, who is the commandant of Cobra 201 unit.
Welcome to Karanpur, sir.
Thank you, Amit. And tell us a bit about the training you all do here. What is the difference in training in terms of what you would encounter elsewhere versus in Chhattisgarh and in the heart of the Naxalite region?
So Chhattisgarh is an extremely harsh place in terms of operational leads and in terms of weather also. So a Cobra troop has to be prepared for whatever the environment or the enemy throws at you. So we have very rigorous endurance training. Our troops are ready to take on anything for any amount of time. वो हम बोलते थे कि अगर हम नहीं कर सकेंगे तो कोई नहीं कर पाएगा. So if we cannot do something, then nobody can. So we prepare our troops accordingly for the harshness of weather and anything which comes as a tactical challenge. So our boys are, I can proudly say that Cobra can beat any other force, not just in the country, in terms of navigation. So I have never found myself navigationally challenged in any operation.
Now, you've been serving here almost for about 6-7 years in this particular region. Of course, you've served much longer elsewhere. What is the difference you've seen in terms of tactics that you're employing? How do you train the people as compared to 8 years back or 7 years back? What is the difference you're finding in the way you all battle Naxalites and the left-wing extremists?
Sir, the enemy of Chhattisgarh is a very determined and well-trained enemy, sir. And then we have understood the enemy tactics very well operating in this area. And Cobra, especially understanding and reading the enemy tactics, we train our troops accordingly for taking on the challenge given by the enemy to us. So now we are training our boys in operational maneuvering, in advanced combat firing skills and navigation also, sir. So they can take on anything which the operational requirement is in terms of distance, in terms of duration, in terms of reaction to an operational situation, and also in terms of the required firearm proficiency, sir.
Now, what is the kind of equipment change that you have found? Say 5 years ago, now what are you all employing in terms of firepower, in terms of surveillance? What is the difference that you find here?
Sir, we have much advanced weapons in terms of area weapons. Now we have under-barrel grade launchers which my troops are carrying. We have advanced day and night vision capabilities. We have UAVs and drones which we fly from bases also, and also our operational troops also carry foldable drones. So it is very easy for us to now view the area, view the enemy. So which makes the troops, which makes it much easier for the troops to react to the operational requirement in the field also.
And so, if you take a look at the challenges that you all have overcome, in terms of what are the advantages now you have with the left-wing extremists? What is the difference you find? Say 5 years ago, they seem to be on the front foot. We were the troops were on the back foot maybe 10 years ago. What is the change that you see now?
Sir, our biggest change which I see is the development of the new forward operating bases. So the security forces are where the enemy was supposed to be. So no place is far for us now. So it is almost like within our reach, within the reach of our equipment, within the reach of our UAVs. We have almost the whole area of where we are operating. So it is like it is much easier for us to view, appreciate, plan, and operate, sir.
And as you're saying, no place to hide for these chaps. You are all over the place now.
Yes, sir. It is not just the physical presence of the troops. We'll have eyes in the sky. We constantly watch and monitor the area. So it is literally no place to hide for the enemy now.
To match the challenge, the Central Armed Police Forces have arsenal that have been transformed. They have Bulgarian-made AK rifles and even under-barrel grenade launchers, rocket launchers, and night vision gear. Nights here are extremely tense in Puvarthi. The CRPF night patrols move in a single file. The threat of IEDs or improvised explosive devices is constant. These hidden killers planted by Naxals have been the insurgents' most effective weapon. In the pitch-black forests, troops move shoulder to shoulder, scanning the darkness with night vision scopes. By morning, they switch to motorcycles to navigate narrow paths and avoid predictable routes. I went on one of those trips. Now, all these scenes are part of the Modi government's multi-pronged deep penetration strategy with the forward operating bases or camps that we saw like Puvarthi and this is the linchpin of their strategy. The real turning point, though, is the state-of-the-art surveillance technology, or TechInt as it's called, that the Modi government has employed in the past decade. Each camp is now equipped with drones, particularly the Netra 3 Bharat, which offers real-time aerial visuals with infrared detection. These machines detect motion, map terrain, and spot ambushes. At the higher altitudes, Hiran, the UAVs hover drones, intercept radio and cell phone chatter, guiding operations with surgical precision. Accurate human intelligence, or HUMINT, has also started flowing in, with locals being recruited as district reserve guards, or DRGs, as well as the newly formed Bastaria battalion. In addition, many of the 7,500 Naxals who have surrendered since 2014 have joined these forces and provide information on how the Naxals operate and their hideouts. They know the terrain well and the Naxal traps and their networks. Now, in just 16 months, 335 Naxals have been killed in Chhattisgarh alone, 217 in Basta. And this is the single largest number that have been killed for a year in the fight to wrest Basta from Naxal control in the past 3 to 4 decades. The Modi government has also been targeting the leadership of the Naxals. Over the past 5 years, 15 senior leaders, including 3 Politburo members, have been taken out. The hardcore fighters are down from 1,400 to just around 600 in the past 2 years alone. Now, all this fits into the multi-pronged strategy outlined by Union Home Minister Amit Shah, which he did in an exclusive interview with me. Do listen in.
अमित शाह जी, जब आप 2019 में होम मिनिस्टर बने थे, उस वक्त नक्सल इशू कितना सीरियस था?
देखिए, नक्सल इश्यू में 2014 से 19 में भी काफ़ी परिवर्तन आया था। मोदी जी जब से प्रधानमंत्री बने तब से इसके विरुद्ध एक अभियान बहुत अच्छे तरीके से चला था। 19 के बाद हमने 4 सूत्रीय रणनीति को अपनाया। एक, नक्सल को टैकल करने में हमने 2 रास्ते लिए। जिनके हाथ में हथियार है और हथियार डालना नहीं चाहते, उनके लिए रूथलेस टफ अप्रोच लिया। जो हथियार डालना चाहते हैं, इनके लिए लचीली सरेंडर पॉलिसी भी बनाई। दूसरा, राज्यों के साथ हमने बहुत अच्छा संकलन किया। मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि छत्तीसगढ़ छोड़कर आंध्र प्रदेश, तेलंगाना, महाराष्ट्र, मध्य प्रदेश, झारखंड, बिहार और कमोबेश केरल भी, इरिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ पार्टी, हर राज्य सरकार ने हमारा समर्थन किया और 14 से 19 में करीब करीब वहां पर हमने पूरा नक्सल नेटवर्क साफ कर दिया। इसमें हमने राज्यों के साथ सहयोग के साथ साथ पुलिस बलों के साथ उच्चतम टेक्निकल सहयोग, एनटीआरओ से लेकर बाकी सारी एजेंसियों की मदद उनके लिए उपलब्ध कराई और इसके साथ साथ राज्य पुलिस के साथ हमने संकलन बनाया और कई जगह 4-4 राज्यों की संयुक्त पुलिस टीम भी हमने गठित की, जिससे राज्यों की सीमा का फायदा वो नहीं उठा सकते। और पहले अभियान इक्का दुक्का होते थे, इसकी जगह अब सुग्रथित अभियान चारों ओर से हमने शुरू करे। इसके कारण हमें ये उन्मूलन में बड़ा फायदा मिला। छत्तीसगढ़ में हमें पूरा सहयोग नहीं मिला था, परंतु फॉर्चुनेटली वहाँ भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार आ गई और 1 साल में पूरा सिनेरियो 24 से 25 में कमोबेश 23 दिसंबर से लेकर 24 दिसंबर तक पूरा सिनेरियो बदल चुका है। मैं विश्वास से कह सकता हूँ कि 31 मार्च 2026 को यह देश नक्सल समस्या से मुक्ति पालेगा।
वह बहुत बड़ी बात है। बस नक्सल इशू खत्म करने के लिए वहाँ छत्तीसगढ़ के और हर दूसरे स्टेट्स पे क्या स्ट्रैटेजी, मल्टीप्रॉन्ग स्ट्रैटेजी लिया था? क्या
हमने पहले इनके हथियारों के सप्लायरों को भी बड़ी कठोरता के साथ रोकने का प्रयास किया। उनके आर्थिक प्रवाह जो थे, जहाँ से उनको आर्थिक मदद मिलती थी, तेंदुपत्ता बेचने वाले हो या कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स हो, इन पर भी एनआईए और ईडी का उपयोग कर कर हमने नकेल कसी, इनके आर्थिक प्रवाह को भी संकरा कर दिया। इसके साथ साथ इनकी पूरी संचार व्यवस्था जो मैन कुरियर के द्वारा थी, सप्लायरों के द्वारा थी, टेलीकम्युनिकेशन के द्वारा थी या मैसेंजर के द्वारा, ये सभी संचार व्यवस्था को भारी क्षति पहुंचाने में हम सफल रहे। इसके कारण सभी नक्सल ग्रुप एक दूसरे के साथ और ओवरऑल एक प्रकार से कट ऑफ महसूस करने लगे, जिसका फायदा हमारी सुरक्षा बलों को बहुत हुआ है। दूसरा, छत्तीसगढ़ में जो डीआरजी का गठन हुआ, जो नक्सली सरेंडर हुए थे, उसी में से एक पुलिस फोर्स का गठन हुआ और वो पुलिस फोर्स बहुत अच्छे तरीके से इनके खिलाफ लड़ी और उनको, क्योंकि जंगल में लड़ने का तरीका भी मालूम था, नक्सलियों के लड़ने का तरीका भी मालूम था और जज्बा भी था कि इन्होंने हमारे जीवन बर्बाद किया है, तो तीनों इकट्ठा मिलकर बहुत अच्छे परिणाम हमें मिले।
और टेक्नोलॉजी में क्या किया, कितने इम्प्रूव किया वहाँ?
देखिए, टेक्नोलॉजी में सबसे बड़ा फायदा हुआ कि हमने बड़ी मात्रा में वहाँ पर 2G और अब 4G टावर बिछा दिए, जिससे पुलिस व्यवस्था का कम्युनिकेशन बढ़ा, उनकी सप्लाई चेन का उनके साथ भी कम्युनिकेशन बढ़ा, जिसको हम आसानी से चिन्हित कर पाए और उन पर स्ट्राइक करने में हमें फ़ायदा मिला। सैटेलाइट इमेजेस का उपयोग कर कर हमने इनके एरिया भी आइडेंटिफाई किए। 2-2 साल तक की उनकी मूवमेंट को चिन्हित कर कर उनकी मूवमेंट की पैटर्न को भी हमने स्टडी किया और स्टडी कर कर मई माह में किस पैटर्न पे मूवमेंट होता है, बारिश में किस पैटर्न पे होता है, सर्दियों में किस पैटर्न पे होता है, सुबह 4 बजे वो अमूमन नाश्ता बनाने के लिए धुआं वहाँ से इस प्रकार की हर एक चीज़ को सैटेलाइट इमेजनरी के आधार पर 2 साल तक धैर्यपूर्वक हमने स्टडी कर कर एक अच्छी रणनीति बनाई। और मैं मनपूर्वक अभिनंदन देना चाहता हूँ सीआरपीएफ, बीएसएफ, आईटीबीपी और एसएसबी के जवान जो मोर्चे पर लगे हैं। इन्होंने अटूट धैर्य और जबरदस्त वीरता और समर्पण का परिचय दिया और इस बड़ी सफलता की ओर जो हम जा रहे हैं, इसमें एक प्रकार से सभी श्रेय वो जवानों को ही जाता है।
और मैंने जब गए थे कैंप के लिए, मैंने ड्रोन्स भी देखा, ड्रोन सर्वेलेंस भी किया। ये तो
ड्रोन है, उनकी सुरक्षा के लिए हमने व्हीकल दिए हैं, नक्सलियों के पास उपलब्ध है, उससे लंबी रेंज वाली राइफलें भी दी है, नाइट विजन वाली राइफलें दी हैं। हर हमारे सीआरपीएफ के कैंप में रात को हेलीकॉप्टर उतर पाए, इस प्रकार के हमने हेलीपैड्स भी बनाए हैं। हेलीपैड तो है ही है, ज़्यादातर कैंप में रात को भी उतर पाए, इस प्रकार के हेलीपैड बनाए हैं। एक घेरा बनाकर अस्पतालों की रचना कर ली है, जिससे जवान जब घायल होता है तो उसकी जीवन को बचाया जा सके। लेटेस्ट व्हीकल दिए हैं, कुछ व्हीकल तो ऐसे हैं जो लेकर 10 जवान 1000 नक्सलियों के बीच में घुस जाए तो भी उनका कोई नुकसान न हो। इसका हमें बहुत फ़ायदा हुआ है। नाइट विजन राइफलों का भी फ़ायदा हुआ है, लॉन्ग रेंज राइफल्स का भी बहुत फ़ायदा हुआ है। स्नाइपर जो दिए हैं, इन्होंने इस लड़ाई में आमूलचूल परिवर्तन किया। तो हमने लगभग 287 करोड़ रुपया जवानों को वेल इक्विप करने में खर्च किया है और मुझे लगता है इससे काफ़ी जवानों की जान भी बची है और उन पर एक ज़बरदस्त पॉजिटिव तरीके से हावी होने में हमें बहुत फ़ायदा मिला है।
रूट कॉज ऑफ नैक्सलिज्म बोलते हैं विकास के लिए, विकास नए आए वहाँ उस जगह पे। विकास के बारे में हम बोलते हैं ना, गन्स और गुलाब पॉलिसी। गुलाब तो विकास देने के लिए
देखिए,
होता है।
पहले भारत सरकार का जो विकास के लिए बजट तो बहुत साल पहले से शुरू हुआ था, कांग्रेस की सरकार में भी हुआ, मगर हमने बजट को स्पेसिफिक किया। जब कोई गांव को जोड़ने वाला रोड बनता है या पीने के पानी का बोरवेल बनता है और नक्सल उसको रोकता है, तो गांव वालों को मालूम पड़ता है कि हमारी बिजली आ रही है, हमारे यहाँ पानी आ रहा है, हमारे यहाँ टेलीफोन की सुविधा है, ये रोक रहे हैं। और अब बच्चों को हमने थोड़े सरकारी भर्तियों के छत्तीसगढ़ के नियमों को भी लचीला कर कर उनको प्यून्स वगैरह की नौकरियां कम पड़े हैं, क्योंकि मैं तो मानता हूं कि वो पढ़ नहीं पाई, ये सरकार का दोष है। वो बच्चा क्यों पढ़ना नहीं चाहता था, मगर पढ़ने जैसी स्थिति ही नहीं थी।
आपने एक स्टिफ डेडलाइन दिया था, मार्च 31,
2026?
मुझे विश्वास है हम उसके पहले कर लेंगे।
अच्छा, और इस भरोसे में आप इतने कॉन्फिडेंस से क्यों बोल सकते हैं अपने?
भरोसा तो मुझे जवानों पर है, और आज जो स्थिति बनी है इसका आकलन कर कर हमने सबने मिलकर ये तिथि तय की है, क्योंकि जब एक तिथि देते हैं तो उत्साह भी बढ़ता है और प्रेशर भी बढ़ता है कि अब जल्दी इस देश को इस समस्या से मुक्त कराओ, और सभी राज्यों ने हमारा बहुत सहयोग किया है।
लास्ट क्वेश्चन बस अंडरस्टैंड करने, जब आप कितने डिस्ट्रिक्ट नक्सल अफेक्टेड था उसी टाइम पे, और अभी कितना डिस्ट्रिक्ट?
देखिए वो आंकड़ा मेरे हिसाब से 14 के पहले लगभग 42% की कमी हुई, मगर ये आंकड़ा डायनेमिक आंकड़ा है, क्योंकि बीच में नए डिस्ट्रिक्ट की रचना हो जाती है, नए पुलिस स्टेशन बनते हैं, तो एक प्रकार से एक पुलिस स्टेशन जो पुराने डेटा में थे आज वहाँ 3 पुलिस स्टेशन है।
राइट।
तो ये आंकड़ा एकदम सटीक नहीं होता। कमो बेस में बताऊँ तो 42% पुलिस स्टेशन और जिले हमने मुक्त कर लिए हैं, 42%, और अब कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड एरिया बस्तर का ही बचा है।
तो उसमें क्या 12 डिस्ट्रिक्ट होगा या
7 डिस्ट्रिक्ट है?
7 डिस्ट्रिक्ट,
7 डिस्ट्रिक्ट है।
बॉर्डर एरिया,
बॉर्डर, एक गढ़चिरौली है,
हाँ जी,
एक मध्य प्रदेश का जिला है बालाघाट, और 5 डिस्ट्रिक्ट छत्तीसगढ़ के हैं। यही कमोबेश एक एरिया बचा है। बाकी छोटा छोटा जो क्लीनिंग करना है, इनके पुराने हथियार ढूंढना, आईडी ढूंढना, पैसा सप्लाई करने वालों का जो नाम मिल गया उनको पकड़ना, ये सारा तो हर राज्य में अभी चल रहा है, परंतु ये बहुत कोई इस प्रकार की घटनाएं नहीं है जिससे हमें चिंता करनी चाहिए।
आप डेफिनेशन ऑफ नक्सल फ्री डिस्ट्रिक्ट क्या होता है? क्योंकि हर बार हम
एक साल में
पढ़ते हैं, एक इंसिडेंट हो गया, वहां पे हो गया कुछ।
एक साल में आइदर और साइड से, पुलिस की ओर से या नक्सलाइट की ओर से किसी की घटना नहीं होती, इसको हम नक्सल फ्री डिस्ट्रिक्ट कहते हैं।
और आप कितने बार वहां गए देखने के लिए?
मैं सभी राज्यों में मिलाकर टोटल 32 बार 5 साल में वहाँ नाइट होल्ड किया है, और कई बार तो 3-3 दिन रहा हूँ, तो मुलाकात मेरी 32 से ज़्यादा हुई है।
और आपकी लास्ट में क्या इंप्रेशन, अब वहाँ जाकर क्या सोचता है आप?
मुझे लगता है कि जिस तरह का मोदी जी ने इनिशिएटिव लिया, वो इनिशिएटिव पहले लिया जा सकता था, मगर इस समस्या को पूर्व की सरकारों ने चलने दो, मेंटेन करके रखो, बड़ी घटना न हो इतना ध्यान रखो, पूर्ण निर्मूल करने की दिशा में कभी काम नहीं किया। नरेंद्र मोदी जी का जो पूर्ण उन्मूलन का अप्रोच है, इसी का परिणाम है कि ये हुआ है।
But as the Union Home Minister told me, guns aren't the only tools in the government's Naxal strategy. Naxalism, if you recall, thrived because of systemic neglect. Decades of poverty, exploitation, and the lack of infrastructure resulted in a large number of people favoring the Naxals and joining the Naxal forces. To counter this, the government is combining force with development. This is the guns and Gulaab approach, which is security and a better life for those living in Naxal areas. Take the bridge across Chintawaggu River in Bijapur, which I visited, which the government has almost completed, and you can see why it is such a vital link for villagers in Naxal-infected areas to reach towns for development. In fact, the Naxals have tried multiple times to blow up the bridge, but it stands tall, and now the villagers cross it to reach health centers, schools, and take up seasonable jobs, and this is the big development initiative.
बहुत मुश्किल होता था सर, नाव से जाते थे, नाव से जाने से कहाँ डूब के मरते थे, बहुत मुश्किल होता था। अभी ब्रिज बना तो बढ़िया है, अब रोड भी बन रहा है तो बढ़िया है, अब आने जाने के लिए थोड़ा टाइम कम लग रहा है।
Like this, the government has built over 11,000 kilometers of roads, another 17,000 kilometers are underway, and multiple bridges that connect the deep innards of Basta region with towns and others, so that the people can go across and experience development rather than be isolated and become prey to Naxalism. And part of that whole bringing in the people and winning their hearts is communications. Over 2,000 mobile towers have been erected, new roads snake into the dense forests. Camps like Puvarti now distribute medicines, blankets, bicycles, and water tanks to locals. 6 mini-field hospitals serve remote communities. When I went there and spoke to them, earlier they said they had to walk 30 kilometers to get medical help. Today, these security camps also provide them with health relief and provide a whole range of services apart from that. So the strategy is that the moment the government clears an area, they bring schools, roads, water and electricity, which hugely benefit the surrounding villages. The other thing is livelihood. What the government has done is raise the wages of tendu leaf collectors, and this has, and of course the price of tendu leaves, and this has gone up from rupees 4,000 to rupees 5,500 per bag just recently. And under the Chhattisgarh government's major development scheme called Niyad Nelanar, locals are enrolled in over 50 welfare schemes ranging from getting ration cards to free cooking gas. In fact, the security camps like Puvarthi play a crucial role in the implementing of these schemes, and I've seen them distribute ration cards, cooking gas, cycles, vessels that are absolutely necessary for their day-to-day living, and as I mentioned earlier, also providing medical relief to them, and wherever necessary, intervening and ensuring that they remain secure and are not threatened by Naxals.
End of this amazing tour de force of Basta, the last frontier of Naxalism. We began by interviewing the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, who talked of a four-pronged strategy to tackle Naxalism. He talked of the fact of using ruthless force to put down those who took the gun. He talked of cutting the funds from the Naxalites. He also talked of ensuring that the vacuum areas, the areas where security could not penetrate, they penetrated, and he talked of development. This is a fight that must be won. It has gone on for too long. Too many people have died. Security personnel have martyred themselves. This is the time. They seem to be winning. They need to keep the pace. A stiff deadline was kept as March 2026. They seem to be on target. But after that, they must ensure development, because that was the root cause. So not only as the guns, but roses, and ensure that they win the hearts of the people.
For an in-depth report, you could read the cover story on Naxalism that I wrote for India Today along with my colleague Rahul Narona. Thank you for being with me in this episode of Nothing But the Truth. I look forward to having you with me next week. Nothing but the truth.